Are you tired of paying outrageous rent on a house you do not own? Are you a first-time home buyer looking to get your feet in the door into home ownership? Or are you an investor looking to grow a business, have some rentals, and so on? Or are you moving to Tennessee or moving around Tennessee to find your dream home? Well, then look no further. I have the answer. I have the solution. My beautiful and amazing wife, Lydia Adams. She's got the knowledge and she's got the power, and she can help you get squared away. You can reach her at 530-407-6676 or on Instagram at Lydia F. Holmes, or shoot her an email at lydiafholmes@gmail.com, and she's going to get you squared away and get you set in the right direction in order to make your dreams come true in the real estate world. Thank you. Yeah, hell yeah. You ready to roll?
Yeah, let's do it.
What is up, everybody? This is Joe Adams from Relentless Pursuit. Welcome to the Relentless Pursuit podcast. This podcast brings together individuals from all different backgrounds, all different lives. I can't talk. I introduced myself as I was for the video for the Key Lime Pie Festival we just had, so it totally threw me off. And you just go check it up. This is going to be another one of those things. What this podcast does is bring together all these individuals and tells their stories, their journeys, the ins and outs, the ins-betweens, and everything thereof. So if that is for you, please check it out, subscribe, all the things. If it's not for you, I don't know what's wrong with you, but it's definitely some powerful stuff, and I just love the amount of guests we've had on here so far. Without further ado, I would like to introduce to you Mrs. Anna Adams.
What's up?
We are not related, although Jesse in here thinks that we might be.
Things that we should be.
Yeah, so I guess we'll find out by the end of this.
He thinks that we were separated at birth.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's pretty common last name, but still, you never know. We got the blonde.
Tall, blonde hair, tan skin,
yeah,
tattoos, ADHD.
It lines up. Pretty accurate. Hell yeah, I love it. And how are you doing?
I'm doing really well.
Good. Well, thank you for coming on. Just real quick, tell us what it is that you do currently in life, what you got going on. Really brief, and then we're going to take it back a little bit.
So I am, like I said, I am 36. I'll be 37 this year. I am a IFBB fitness pro. I am currently in prep right now for a show, probably in July, maybe August. We'll see. I am also a nurse by trade, and I've been nursing for roughly 12, going on 13 years. I've done everything top to bottom. I've done everything pretty much except for pregnant people and little people.
Oh.
Those are the only two areas that I just don't deal with. But my main area of expertise is oncology and chemotherapy.
Nice. What do you got against pregnants and little ones?
I just don't want to deal with them.
Yeah. I mean, two different ends of the spectrum, but very a lot going on with them. Yeah. Heightened emotions on both ends in different ways. Hell yeah. So oncology, that's, you said that's like cancer related, right?
Yeah. Anything cancer related, blood disorders, blood cancers. Right now I work as a research nurse. I'm basically do data analysis and research analysis for clinical trials.
Okay.
So that's a fairly new job. I started that about 3-4 weeks ago ish.
Oh yeah, very new.
And I'm absolutely loving it because it's basically like you have to find right now the way that it is between looking at like queries and like them asking us questions about certain things, certain clinical trials. Does this patient match this? Can we put this person on trial? It's basically like, well, where's Waldo for nerds?
Yeah.
So you have like all this information you have to dig up, and it's like
super tedious, but
it's like a treasure hunt. Be like,
oh, yeah, I figured it out.
Find it.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Well, I've known Anna. I guess I've known of Anna for quite some time.
Yeah.
I've seen you. I've been kind of in this industry for a long time. I used to be up there at a place in Hermitage, and you just kind of see people on social media. We've interacted like barely,
briefly,
and
it was more like out of courtesty.
Yeah, like, but we never been like, "What's up?"
Yeah,
you walked in and we gave each other a hug, like it's a whole new thing. But yeah, so it's just been just cordial passing by.
Yeah,
you get a lot of work done by Jesse, Muscle Medic, and here. And yeah, Jesse's like, y'all should be related. And she's an open book. She's got a cool story. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get Anna on here. So here we are. We're making it happen, and I'm excited to hear your journey and get that out there, and you know, let some folks, you know, let you inspire some folks and share what you've been through. So, but now,
Yes.
let's take it back, Anna. Take it back to the early days, back to the roots. You know, where are you from? Let's break into school, your upbringing, all that good stuff, and we'll go from there.
So just FYI, if I start talking and you start to hear a twang come out.
I mean, yeah, you said Mississippi, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know, we're in that region.
Oh, no, it's different.
It's
different. It is different. I understand the mountains of Tennessee are like very like country.
Oh, like
but
Appalachia.
yeah, that's like mountainous-ish,
Yeah.
you know? I'm not going to say I grew up in the boondocks, but I grew up in the backwoods.
I mean,
That's what I would like refer to it as. Like, I grew up in the backwoods, born and raised in a small town called Byram, Mississippi.
what part of Mississippi is that?
So that's central Mississippi. So if you're looking at Jackson, which is basically your state capital, central Mississippi, Jackson sits in Hinds County. You ever
Okay.
heard of somebody talk about we're in the Tri-County area?
I have heard that.
Okay. That's literally where we were. So you had Madison, Hinds, and Rankin County between Madison, Jackson, and Flowood, Brandon.
Okay.
I grew up in all three areas. So I spent my childhood in Jackson or in Byram. Grew up mid-teenage to early 20s in Madison. And then my later adult years after I was like 25, 26, 27 was all out in Brandon. So I moved to Tennessee when I was 30. So I've been here for 6 years.
So Mississippi,
Almost
like, a long time.
7. Yes.
Yeah. You know where Macomb is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I got a buddy that's down there. He's got like 40 acres or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And we go down there, and like, yeah, I take that drive, and there's not much going on in Mississippi.
That's what's really funny. Everybody's like, oh, Mississippi, I've traveled through there. I was like, you didn't miss much. Keep going.
Yeah, that's all there is to do. Just travel through.
That's all there is to do.
You know what? Nah, but I will say land's cheap, and I was like, man, if I get some land, like a couple hundred acres just to have, I'm just going to get in Mississippi somewhere.
If I could make what I am making now working as a clinical trial research nurse and live in Mississippi, I could literally live in one of the most expensive neighborhoods in Mississippi.
Really?
Yeah, it's that different.
No shit. Yeah. So, like, I don't even know what I would
Like a
compare it to.
standard house in Murfreesboro is like what, 400K?
I guess so.
So like 400K back home in Mississippi could probably, like, I don't know if it's changed much.
You'd be doing that Franklin living.
Yeah, basically.
No shit.
Yeah, you'd be doing that Franklin living in like a 3,000 square foot house.
Let's all just go start a town.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just like get huge houses and just just coast on by, right? No, but hell yeah, no. I mean, like I said, it's wide open though. There's a lot of opportunity there, I guess. But anyways, so from Mississippi, so I take it you were from a small town.
I was from a small town, and then so it's weird because growing up in Jackson, Madison, and Brandon, so majority of your state's population is in those three counties.
Yeah.
However, for such a, say 500,000 people, roughly, whatever, spitballing here.
Yeah.
I can't go into a single Walmart or Kroger in any one of those cities and not see somebody I know.
Really?
Yeah. Still bigger city with a small town vibe.
Yeah.
But everybody knows everybody because everybody kind of runs all in the same circle. So and especially if you were like me, I was a private school kid. So here, everybody in Tennessee, most people go to public school and very few people go to private.
Yeah.
In Mississippi, if you wanted a better education, you went to a private school. And that's just kind of how it was. Where here, they would people don't have any problem at all sending your kids to public school because the public school system around here is actually not that bad.
Yeah. Especially compared to
Especially compared to other places. So it was. I grew up. I went to Catholic school all my life, kindergarten through 12th grade.
Are you Catholic?
I am.
Oh, nice. So it worked out.
Yeah, it worked. I was a cradle Catholic. My mom popped me out and sprinkled me with holy water. That's how.
That's
it
what they
was.
did to me when I was born.
Right?
My dad's from up north, so when I grew up in the South, but when I was born, they did all that, and I'm like, I'm not even Catholic. I've never been to a Catholic church or mass or whatever, so I couldn't even tell you anything. But yeah, I had those beginnings, a little bit of sprinkling in there.
Yeah. So yeah, and so I'm kindergarten through 12th grade. Went to Catholic school. I I liked it. Like I had a really good upbringing, like with my mom. Like I grew up, like my childhood, I was such a tomboy.
Yeah.
I was such a tomboy. So my upbringing was like I lived off of East Broadwater Road. I remember this crap to this day. And I lived off of a gravel road where there were only 3 houses on that gravel road. 3 houses shared that driveway. I had a 120-year-old oak tree in my front yard.
See, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I want to live in that.
And it was like I had my dad like threw a rope and tied up a tire swing. And like that's my dad built, not bought, built my swing set in my sandbox. And like my sandbox was not a box of sand. My dad would go to the local quarry and get a dump truck of sand and just dump it in the
Give me
yard.
your best sand you got. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll load that up.
That was like, I was the kid that had a go-kart when she was 7 years old doing wheelies. I was the one that was, 7, 8 years old on a 0 turn who was taught, don't fall off.
Don't fall off. Give it, mow this up.
Mow this. Like it was like 1.2 acres of grass and I was mowing at 7, 8, 9 years old.
Nice, dude.
And so like I would do chores around the house that like I should have been doing, but like my parents would like, you get a quarter for this and, $1 for that. And so like I was always doing something. I was always outside.
Yeah.
And you could not keep shoes on me.
Yeah, and I see. Well, that's good. I mean, that's the way you want to raise your kids.
Yeah,
I think, and I see a lot of people in society are wanting to go to that now.
Yeah,
because they're starting to see just how things are shifting.
Yeah,
and like that, I want that lifestyle. So when we get land, I want to move out.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's like the stuff you want to teach your kids.
And it's like your form of entertainment or my form of entertainment as a kid was like, what could I get into? But of course, like
on an iPad.
Well, yeah, but like. iPad video games, like my first video game was like a Nintendo.
Yeah.
Not a 64, a Nintendo.
Okay.
Like I didn't have,
yeah.
So I upgraded to a 64 and I am a wonderful Banjo-Kazooie player.
Oh man, those are the good old days. Yeah, I remember that shit. That was fun.
Dude, I used to have one. Like even still, like at 36 years old, I used to have one. And yeah, so like going outside, playing, like we had a gravel road. Behind the gravel road was a pasture. In the pasture, there were horses. And we could jump the, what was supposed to be an electric fence, but because your girl grew up, was born to a father who wanted a son.
Yeah.
I knew how to turn off the electricity to the fuse box by shorting the fuse box to the electric wire.
Nice. Wreaking havoc.
I was very, very young. I started very early. And so we would go back into the pasture and then go past the pasture into the woods where there was like natural creeks and like rivers and, crap that you had no business getting in. And like we would try to see how many water moccasins we could find. And like,
oh yeah, tadpoles.
Yeah. Like we were like, my dad's gift to me when I was 5 years old was like a Swiss Army pocket knife. Yeah. So I would sharpen it on the rocks and then try to make a spear out of a stick that I found in the woods and like try to like pretend like I was hunting and like try to stab shit with it.
Oh yeah. Do you have any siblings?
No, I was an only child.
Only child, really?
So like the only friend that I really had growing up that was like very similar to me, that it was around me as much as, as me doing all this crap, was my next door neighbor's granddaughter. And so, and it was her and her brother, and then she was the youngest of 2, and then there was like another grandson, like a cousin or whatever. So there was like 4 of us growing up. But like, other than that, like it was just me. So like when they weren't there, because they would go there after school and we would all hang out, but like if they weren't there, if it wasn't the weekend or if they were doing something, I was always by myself.
So I'd imagine...
I had a lot of
imagine you have
friends.
quite the imagination.
I did. I have a lot of imaginary friends.
I mean, that's pretty cool, though. I like that. Yeah. So, I mean, who knows? I mean, we want another kid, but like I told Lydia, I was like, I'm blessed just to have. I'm so in love with this little girl. Like, if that's all we had, that's fine. I mean, but I mean, hopefully we have another one. But if we don't, I'd be pretty happy. And she'll probably just be running around doing the same kind of shit.
Probably, more than likely.
Yeah.
Like, my mom always said, like, they tried, but they just, like, couldn't. And I was like, oh, okay. Come to find out later. Like, my mom had endometriosis, which she, was nice enough to pass down to me. Such a sweet gift. So.
Yeah, Lydia has it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has it. And she was, like, technically, they were like, oh, it'd be hard for you to get pregnant. And she did pretty quick. So, it worked out. I guess if it happens, it happens. You never know, but
You never know.
you never know. But so obviously you're tall, you're athletic. Was sports a big thing?
Yes. So I hated, so I know this is going to probably piss a lot of people off, but I hated soccer. My mom made me try every freaking sport there was.
I know how that is.
And so like I did, she wanted me so badly to be girly, and I couldn't freaking stand it.
Yeah.
I hated it. I wanted to go outside and play in the mud. Like that's what I wanted to do, because I grew up around all men. The only other woman other than my mom was my next door neighbor's granddaughter, and she was like Miss Priss. She was like in pageants, and she did like the dance.
You want nothing to do with that.
I'm just like, you have it. I have more fun doing this.
Yeah.
This is way more fun. Getting dirty was way more fun.
Yeah.
Like, my hair was always in a ponytail. Never. And that went on until I was probably like, 12, 13, and like went to like middle school.
Yeah.
And
And then you had like social influence a little bit, sure.
a little, but it was like that was kind of when, like, if I got attention from somebody, like when someone said something to me that was either negative about what I look like, I like started hurting my feelings, and I was like, oh, I care. What is this?
That's how it goes. That's when the shift happens. It's like in schooling, man. It's crazy.
It's like, what is? I've never cared before. Why do I care now?
Yeah, you were perfectly happy just doing your thing.
And so, so yeah, I was a huge tomboy. And so, but my dad had a lot to do with that too, because my dad had me doing crap that, like, you know, you wouldn't really catch most girls doing. Like, I know how to, you know, put up drywall, fix sheetrock. I know how to grout tile. I know how to rewire, you know, I know how to turn off circuits for an electric fence. Like, my dad liked to punish me growing up. It was so funny. I don't know how I figured out how to do this. I was a very visual person, so if I saw you put it together, I could take it apart and do it the same way, like do it myself. So, like, I was that kid that, like, so my neighbors had a huge shop, like 6 or 8 car shop, and they would build race cars behind our house. And so I would watch them do it. So, like, me seeing all this, I'm like, I could do this. So I would take like my bike and my go-kart and then just take the shit apart and then put it back together.
Hell yeah.
So that's like the mischievous crap. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, there were plenty of days where I was like, all right, let's put it back together. Now let's go down this hill really, really fast. And whoop, you know, handlebars come off. Be like, well, you know, may the odds be ever in your favor.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully I made it down. And
You just try it again.
I only lost like a little bit of skin on my leg. It's fine.
It's part of it.
Yeah. You know, battle scars.
Yeah.
But like, I did all these things that most boys would have done, and it's because my dad was very involved in my life when I was a kid. So he had me, so my mom tried to get me into dance, hated it. She tried to get me to do cheerleading. I didn't make a full season. I was like, screw this, I hate it. Because I didn't like the girliness of it, because it wasn't like tomboyish. I liked being the tomboy.
Was there a point where your mom was just like, you know what, just do your thing?
Yeah, like after my dance recital, where she tried to take pictures of me, and I was literally standing there like the whole time, like, like just scowling. Like, she could not get me to smile because she curled my hair, and it was like the one thing that I freaking hated was curls.
Out of all the things you could hate.
I couldn't.
No curls.
No curls.
That's the last straw.
That's right. Draw the line. So yeah, after that, like, I tried to do soccer. I was pretty decent at it, and I just, like, I didn't love it. Like, I was fast, but I was the only girl on the team. Mm-hmm. And so then I got into basketball. Freaking loved it. Mm-hmm. So I played basketball all the way up until like my junior year of high school. Until my junior year of high school, I had only played basketball, but then my freshman year of high school, they created a volleyball team. Oh. So my freshman year I didn't play, but my sophomore year I did. So sophomore, junior, senior, and then it became very clear to me that I was way better at volleyball than I was at basketball. Nice. So, like, it wasn't even so much like the hand-eye coordination. Like, I could jump, I had the height, I had the speed.
You just fall in love with it?
Yeah. Like I loved basketball, but the second I started playing volleyball, like, oh my God.
You were
like,
hooked.
that's where my heart was. Like, right then and there.
Hell yeah.
And so that's how, when I got into, when college was over, like, what do I do now? Like, all my sports are done. Because, like, I went to Ole Miss, left Ole Miss, came home, and during that time, I had been married once before.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, that was really fun. Long story short, with that, he was very, very textbook borderline personality narcissist. Like, and I know everybody's like, my ex-boyfriend was a narcissist. Like, no, really.
Yeah, but like legit.
Like he's got papers to prove it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
and
got
like
those. You're in the books.
but like he also liked to hit people, and like I think 2 years after we got divorced, I'll put it to you this way: I think he's currently on future ex-wife number 5.
Nice. Sounds like a good track record.
Yeah. Now I will say this: after he went to jail, and I think he actually did like 18 months in jail, like far after the fact, like 2 marriages after he left me, or after I left his ass. He like apparently like went to jail, got saved, is with the Lord, and basically is like a deacon in his church, which deep down, like I hope that is true. I truly hope that that is real.
Yeah, that is not like a mask.
Yeah, that it's not a mask, and like I hope that that's where he continues in the path that he tends to follow. But there's always that like voice in the back of your head that's like, yeah, you're right.
Unfortunately, a lot of people use religion as a mask as a way to mask their true identity. Does it make sense? I mean, just overall, you know?
Well, I mean, I think it can be.
Yeah.
Not
everyone.
Some people, not even a mask, some people use it as a crutch.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Hey, it happens, but hopefully he's doing better.
Hopefully he is.
And he's shifted forward. How old were you when this happened?
So I was 20.
Oh, so you were young.
Yeah. I was 20 when we met. I was 22 when we got married.
So during college?
Yes.
Okay.
So like I had just gotten into nursing school. So I was 22, just gotten into nursing school, finished nursing school, graduated, and then was divorced like later that November. So like at 24, or I had just turned 25.
Oh, so it was pretty quick. Like,
Yeah.
okay, well, this is not going to work out.
Yeah. Like we were together like 4.5 years, and it was like, that was probably the most brutal relationship. And that was like probably like the lowest point in my life was after that.
Well, before we get to that, I'm curious, if you want to dive into it, but, obviously I love how to hear you were talking about how your dad was just extremely involved, with you. And like, that's big to me. Like, I want to be involved with everything my daughter does and just have a really close relationship. What would you say is probably your biggest influences from your parents? Because I know your mom wanted you to be girly, but obviously y'all are close, and she played some massive influence in your life. So what would you say, as far as they go, how they impacted you?
So when I was a kid, I was a daddy's girl.
Yeah.
As a kid, I was a daddy's girl, 100%. As I got older, I became a mama's girl.
Oh.
And that was because and it came from a relationship that I didn't know at the time wasn't optimal. Like, my parents were wonderful roommates. And it wasn't until I was like, till my parents got divorced and I was like 25. They were together for like 26 years, got divorced. And I didn't even realize that like it wasn't normal to go on vacation with just my mom and have my dad just like stay at the house.
Oh.
So like I thought that was something that like, oh yeah, well I did that with my mom all the time. And it wasn't until I was much older that I realized that like dad just didn't want to do things. And so my mom would want to do like things with us and as a family, and my dad started to become a homebody and didn't want to go anywhere or do anything. So my mom was very much was like, okay, fine, then I'm going to go without you. And so my mom, later I found out like the reason why my mom stayed with my dad for as long as she did is because like she wanted it to work out and she wanted to be a good wife, but she wanted me to grow up having the family that I did. Both of my parents were very loving and affectionate to me. Like I got love and hugs and kisses from my mom and my dad all the time. Never really noticed it, that it wasn't towards each other. Like they were friendly and they would hang out and they would talk, but like I never saw loving affection. It was like real, like they were really good roommates.
Oh, excuse me. Just enjoying my favorite cookies in the world. Do you love cookies, but you hate the guilt that goes along with them? Check out Crumble, for example. Compared to these have half the calories, half the crap in them, but they're that much better. Baked to perfection, cooked to perfection, a wide variety of flavors that are just the best you can get your hands on. We got honey bun here. This is like a honey bun type of something, okay? Nice and soft and just ooey gooey, the best, freshly baked. We got Pinky right here, another one of my favorites. Right here, these are hard to get your hands on no further than the blueberry Pop-Tart flavor. They got cream of the crop, which is cookies and cream. They got cookie butter. They got a wide variety of options for any taste bud want. Check them out. They're called Alpha Cookies at Alpha Cookies 615 on Instagram. They've got a website coming soon, so you can order them from afar. It doesn't matter where you're at in the world. They will get them to you, and you'll have the best cookies around. Show them some love. They're located here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. They're a wonderful small business, and show them some support, and you'll never turn away. Thanks.
They're just really, really good roommates. And, like, I didn't know that that was, like, a thing. I thought that was, like, how every family was. And then, so, like, I guess one of the reasons, like, I'm a very affectionate person because that's how my family was to me. But it never really dawned on me until much, much later, until, like, after my parents got divorced and, like, after I went back and, like, in retrospect kind of figured everything out. So, like, after, I don't know, after my parents got divorced, my dad and I's relationship kind of dwindled because, like, he ended up getting remarried, and my stepmom is a wonderful woman. She's very sweet, very nice, and, like, my dad changed for her, for sure. Like, I will say that. Like, my dad, who did have a short fuse and who never wanted to do anything, excuse me.
Yeah.
Like, he does stuff with them and is very family oriented and controls his anger and all that other stuff. And my dad never really had, like, a drinking problem, but, like, he'd come home and have, like, a beer or two, like, 3-4 nights a week, but it wasn't anything, like, serious, at least not that I could see from my adolescent eyes.
Yeah. Well, because you usually, there's a saying, it's like your kids don't do what you tell them to do. They usually replicate your actions.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in that, and, so you if they're, like, drinking all the time, either the kid's going to be like, man, fuck alcohol, or they're going to follow suit similarly, right? So, but from what your eyes, you obviously didn't see.
I didn't see anything crazy like that. But, like, him with his new wife, she had 2 kids, so I went from being the only child to, like, the middle child because my stepbrother is younger than me and my stepsister is older than me. So he started devoting a lot of his time and effort to being with them and doing stuff with them, and then would message me or text me, but, like, would forget to invite me to things or wouldn't go places, or, like, if I asked him to be somewhere to support something, like, he just wouldn't be there. So it's like he devoted all of his time and energy to his new family.
And you were 25, you said?
Yeah, I was 25 when this started happening. So, like, so over that course of, like, 5 years from 25 to 30 before I moved, I, like, tried to keep this relationship with my dad. And it was just 5 years of just a lot of disappointment. So eventually...
That was hurtful.
Yeah, so eventually when I was, like, 31, I was like... It finally dawned on me, like, it was a very harsh reality, and I always remember being, like, upset or mad, or I would complain to my mom, why does he do this? Why? Like, why? And eventually, like, I figured out, you know what? I love my dad. I know my dad says that he loves me, but he just doesn't love me the way I want to be loved. And, like, I will just have to accept that. And that was probably one of the best lessons that 2 great lessons that my dad taught me. When I was a kid, like, my dad was very much like, keep working, you got to work. Like, I would do basketball games, and, like, there were literally games where my dad would look at me afterwards and was like, "You sucked." Like, he was very honest.
Thanks, Dad.
Like, like, if I did good, not that I was like, you did so good, you were the best out there. It wasn't like that. It was like, you did good. You made that 3-pointer that you tried for, that you've been practicing outside in the yard for 3 months. You finally made it. Well done. Good job. Like, my dad would give me props where it was earned, but it was never like, you did so good. You just got out there and hustled.
Yeah, I hate that. And,
Yeah,
you know,
it was not. That was not my dad.
Yeah, like,
at
hey, I
all.
appreciate your effort, but you could have done better. Like, you got to be honest with your kids too. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't drill them. Like, you see movies, like the dad's like, "You piece of shit."
Yeah,
like,
no,
dude,
it wasn't like that.
Like, you know, you see that. That's extreme. You don't want to be that kind of parent, but you also want to instill in your kids, like, you know, put in maximum effort. If you don't, you're not going to get anything from it. But you know, it's okay to not do your best. You know, like, that's not what I mean. Always do your best, but it's okay to, like, make them know that they're not doing their best, or they could have done better. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So, like,
only helps improve.
Yeah, and so that was like one of the lessons that, like, my dad taught me as a kid. Like, one of two best lessons that I learned from him was, like, continue to work and continue to do a lot.
Yeah.
But, like, you're not gonna be praised for showing up.
Of course.
That was the biggest thing. Like, if you're gonna show up, but you better fucking do the work.
Hey, one of the biggest issues, man, that everybody gets a trophy mindset. I can't stand it. Yeah, that's you know, I want to get my daughter into jiu-jitsu just because, like, hey, I think it's a great sport to be like, one, you're going to learn, you know, you're going to build your confidence through the roof.
Yeah.
But also because it's all on you.
It's discipline.
If you lose, there's no one else to blame.
Nope.
You're not going to get a trophy for it. You're not going to get first place. That's up to you. You want to get better. And it's just such a discipline to learn at a young age. And I think it's extremely valuable. And I want I want a self-confident, disciplined child, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's important to teach those lessons for sure, even in, like, the team sports. But yeah, so he instilled that in you. And then,
well, the second best lesson that he ever taught me was that, and it was almost unintentional. And that was that sometimes acceptance is the only way to move forward. And it's like, once you learn to accept something, it makes it that much easier to get through. Like, and it doesn't have to be good or bad. Like, my dad loves me the way that he loves me. Accept it. That's not how I want to be loved. And move on. Like, I accept that is who he is. I don't expect anything more.
yeah.
Because having this, a lot of times a lot of what we are disappointed in life is these unrealistic expectations that we put within ourselves without looking at reality.
Yeah.
And it's hard.
And it's really difficult too, because you try to have those expectations of other people, but you're not responsible for their actions.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's been a hard thing for me, like, over the years, is, like, you know, people screw you, and then you're not willing to accept it. You just want to figure out why.
Yeah.
Well, then most of the time you end up wasting a bunch of your time. And at the end of the day, the answer's there. Like, they're that way, and you just got to accept it and move forward. And that's the best thing you can do, instead of just, like, beating a dead horse. Like, why did they do this to me? And then you just get pissed.
And that's where obviously the key of acceptance comes in, because, like, accept the fact that there are some questions you're never going to get to ask. There are some explanations that you're never going to receive. There are some apologies that you are never going to hear.
Yeah.
You have to be okay with that. Once you become okay with that, and the only way to become okay with that is to know who you are as a person. If you don't know who you are as a person, then you will strive to find those answers because it comes from somebody else, which means that person's affirmation of what they did to you or why they did it to you means more than to your own self-worth.
We talked about that on here before, that you see that in a lot of athletes.
Yeah.
You know, they're so used to that acceptance, or that love coming from others based on their performance. And then along that journey, they don't even focus on who they are. So they get to a point, and then they're like, who am I even? And they lose their shit.
Yep.
You know, and everybody else is drilling them about this. And it's great to be a great athlete, but find yourself along the way.
Yeah.
Because if you lose that, then you have nothing, you know? And, like, what happens when you get injured or you get jacked and you can't continue that, and you're like, what am I?
Yeah, and that's just it. That happens with so many people.
Yeah, it's sad. What about from your mother?
My mom's biggest thing was that, like, work for it.
Yeah.
Always be able to take care of yourself. Work for it. She's like, it's not for free. Like my mom growing up was a workaholic.
Really?
Oh yeah. She always made sure that bills were paid. Like she worked to put me through private school, kindergarten through 12th grade. Like she paid for my education. She always made sure I had money for what I needed. But if it was something that I wanted, I had to work for it.
Yeah.
I would do chores around the house, or I'd do babysitting, or she even like let me get a job when I was like 14, 15, 16 years old. And then like babysitting, doing stuff like that. And then I got a job working for the Braves minor league team for 10 years, actually, almost.
Cool.
But I did that when I was 18.
Yeah.
And if I needed something, my mom would pay for it. If it was school related or sports related, like if I needed it, she made sure I had it. If I wanted it, it was all on me.
Yeah. Earn that shit.
Yeah. And that's probably the best thing that she ever taught me was like, always be able to take care of yourself no matter what.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a solid foundation, solid lesson right there. What's your relationship with like both of them now?
So my dad, like I have a relationship with my dad. I don't talk to him much because I got so used for so long, like being the person like reaching out all the time.
So not much has changed since that acceptance moment?
Not really. I talk to him probably like on the phone like once every like 3 to 6 months, or he'll like text me randomly. My mom I talk to literally almost every day, either by text or I call her once a week. I probably should. Well, I'm supposed to call her once a week, but I text her probably at least like 3, 4, 5 times a week.
That's cool.
Very close with my mom.
Is she still in Mississippi?
So actually, no. So my mom is out of like just outside of Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay.
She does travel nursing, but hers is more administrative. So
Okay.
like if a hospital needs like an interim CNO or an interim director or something like that, like if they've got somebody out on medical leave and they need to hire somebody outside temporarily to be their director of ICUs or director of, quality care or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what she does. And so she's out of Birmingham. She is currently serving a like 6 or 8 month contract out in California, just outside of San Francisco.
But she gets to travel around, do her thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, she probably likes
She
it.
actually she closes on her house the 27th. She just finally bought her dream home in Sarasota, Florida.
Hell yeah, that's
She's
awesome.
super excited.
Oh yeah, going to Florida too.
Yeah.
That's cool. Hell yeah. And we'll get into the bodybuilding aspect. Competing. She's like this. You're like, Mom, it's pageants.
Yeah.
It sort of came full circle. This is close enough, right?
Yeah, right.
She's probably like, yes, finally. I mean, a little bit different, but
Now, I will say this about my mom. Like, when I first got into bodybuilding, she was like, I don't know about this. I'm not sure about this. Let me tell you, the first time I went to step on that stage at Olympia,
she was like,
my mom was so proud.
hell yeah.
I could hear her from the stage in her
Yes.
country bumpkin southern accent screaming at the top of her lungs.
That probably fired you the hell up too.
Oh, I was so excited.
But it's probably like in those moments, I can only imagine because that's the biggest stage, right?
Like I literally heard like, that's my baby.
You were you were like laughing and you were fired up, but you were probably trying not to get emotional at the same time.
Yeah.
Just because that's huge. Yeah, that's awesome, man. And that sounds like my mother. She's like the biggest cheerleader no matter what.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. Before we bridge into like you moving here, did you do any of the sports and stuff through college? What was that college time like?
So I attempted to do volleyball in college. Ended up just doing intramurals. Did a couple of worked with a practice squad up at Ole Miss. But I really just did more intramurals. I started so late in volleyball, even though I was really good. Like we went to state, I was all state. And like I was really good for as short of a period of time that I had of playing. We did select. But because I didn't have like the upbringing, because volleyball was very late in Mississippi.
Yeah.
So like all of your college teams that I wanted to go and play college ball and D1 ball, we're all recruiting from like Texas, Tennessee, Georgia, like all these places where volleyball had been around for, 10, 12 years already.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't that way in Mississippi.
And you probably got the school. You went to where you said Ole Miss?
Yeah.
And SEC.
Yeah.
And you see that level, and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I talked to a guy that's from, I had a guy on here several weeks ago. He's from Maryville, Tennessee. Great football player. He walked on at UT, but he was like, dude, like it's just a whole different freaking ball game. And he was there when they won a couple national championships, back in like 98 or something. So he was like, these guys are just freaking animals, It's just that transition from his school being the superstar to seeing that. Not saying that you can't push yourself to compete with that, but some of these people, they just have that just decades of training prior to that going into it. And, maybe not decades, but you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
it's just a whole different playing field, you know what I'm saying? But you can still be a killer athlete, but these guys just got
it's just a different level.
Yeah, I can only imagine. So, and then working your way through.
So after I got done with college, I ended up coming back to Mississippi and finishing up some like prereqs and stuff at a community college. And so I ended up coaching at the same high school that I went to.
Coach volleyball?
Yeah. So I ended up coaching the JV team and then was the assistant coach for the varsity team.
Okay.
And so I did that for about 3 years. And then, because like I always said, like I loved it so much. Like if I could have made an actual living out of just coaching, that's all I would have done.
Really?
And then about 2 years into it, I was like, need some more income.
Can't make a living.
Nope.
I love it, but it's not going to.
I need a big person job.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate that you can't, but hey, at least you got to get that experience in.
Oh, I loved it. I loved
yeah.
coaching.
And then so, 25, moving forward, you did that for a few years, and then 30, moved to Tennessee.
Yeah.
What forced that shift, and how was that transition?
My current soon-to-be ex-husband.
Oh. Okay. So you met.
So I met my ex in 2017. Moved up here. We did the long distance relationship for about 5 or 6 months. Met him in like August, and then moved up to Tennessee, Nashville, the Bellevue area in January of 2018.
How'd you like Nashville compared to Mississippi?
Freaking loved it.
Yeah.
I had always said that like I wanted to get out of Mississippi. And he was actually from Mississippi as well. He's from northern Mississippi. And he had always said the same thing. But he actually went to college up here. So when I met him, it was like we both wanted to get out of Mississippi. We both didn't want to ever come back, which I was all for. And then I moved up here. I had already been bodybuilding at that point, and we actually met at a bodybuilding show that I was helping expedite at.
When did you start bodybuilding?
So I started bodybuilding in 2012.
Because that's a big part of your life now, obviously. Yeah, like you're committed. You're in it.
Yeah.
And so you just, I guess, what got you into that?
So from my first marriage, when I got divorced from him, I was like, I didn't really know what to do with anything. I didn't, when I say lowest of the low, like I didn't know who I was. I didn't know my purpose in life. I knew I could be a nurse because I was a nurse. So I tried to find, a little bit of peace in that and like helping other people. But like, I still liked working out because I remember working out like through college and through volleyball. So I still enjoyed it.
You want to be physical.
Yeah. So I ended up going to the gym, just like found like a YMCA to go to, met some people there, and they were like, hey, I see you in here working out, like met people, became friends with people. And then one day, one of my friends was like, hey, do you want to be on my fitness team? And I was like, yeah, sure. I had no idea what he was talking
sign me
about.
up.
Sign me up. Well, beat me up, Scotty, whatever. So I went to the Pine Belt Showdown in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Was the first show that I ever went to see. And I freaking fell in love with it. I was like, I could do this. And at that time, it was like just like Bikini had just came out like 3 years before.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like 2014, 2015, Bikini came out. And this was like 2012, 2013, something like that.
Because at that time, there was probably just like women's physique and bodybuilding figure.
Yeah, there was figure, women's bodybuilding. I think physique had like just started. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But it was in 2013 that I did my first show, and I started in Bikini. Because, like, I know this is going to be a huge shock to you, but I could show you a picture of what I looked like after my divorce. I was 128 pounds soaking wet.
I want to see. I do want to see later on. Yeah. Show me because I don't know. All I know is Anna now, so I wouldn't be able to tell.
Like, so again, having an idea, my ex was very, very narcissistic and very controlling.
Yeah.
So I was told where to go, what to do, what to eat, how to wear my hair, what color my hair needed to be, who I could and could not talk to. Like, when I say controlling, I mean like the worst aspects you can imagine of controlling. That's what it was.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You know, and like knowing you now and your personality,
like, no way.
You're like, how the hell did you let someone do that? But my wife, she told me the same thing. Like, I tell her some stuff and she's like, you just don't seem like the person to allow that. And I'm like, man, I'm telling you, they plant those seeds and you just like, it's over time.
Well, that too, but like, you got to remember I was 20 when I met him.
Yeah.
I didn't really know, like, and I was like the good little girl. Like, he was my first. I didn't move in with him until like the day after the wedding.
Oh.
Like, yeah.
Super traditional.
Yes, very traditional, because I was like a good little Catholic schoolgirl. Like, this is how it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, won't ever do that again. But, and so I joined this team. I did bikini. I loved it. I fell in love with it. I started competing, and I did, golly, that first or second year, I swear to God, I think I did like 7 shows one year. Like, I just loved
You
it.
just went all in.
Yeah.
I do got a question, and for those that like aren't, because we get so many different kinds of guests on here.
Yeah.
Can you explain to like the audience like what the difference is between bikini up to bodybuilding?
So bikini is probably like the lowest level of females. Like, I'm gonna say the lowest, so like the least muscular.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're looking for, it's more of a slender physique with muscle tone.
Yeah.
Okay. They don't want, someone walking up there with toothpicks. They do want muscle tone.
Yeah.
It has kind of evolved over the years, because I remember back in 2015, 2014, like India Paulino.
Yeah.
She was just rock hard on stage, and like we were thinking like that's how bikini needed to be, and then all of a sudden you have like C-Bum's wife, Courtney.
I've probably seen her.
I can't think of her last name, but she was a much softer like version of bikini. So like it's evolved over the years, but basically it is a more slender, toned body, still very conditioned, but like most female categories are judged from the backside. So your glutes is the biggest thing. But it's not, they don't want to see like tie-ins. Everybody's like, well, my tie-ins look good. That's great. You're going to count it off for that.
Ah.
Yeah, they want to see fullness of the glutes into the hamstrings. They don't want to see dugout hamstrings. They don't want to see tendons.
It's for a different class.
Yeah, I'm like, that's physique, honey.
Okay, yeah.
So like, and the posing's obviously a little bit different. It's more flashy, a little bit more feminine.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, a step up from that, you have wellness, which is the only category that allows for imbalances top to bottom.
Okay.
So you have symmetry left and right and balance top to bottom. Well, wellness is the only one that's going to have an imbalance of much larger glutes and hamstrings and quads.
Okay, yeah.
The top is still built the same. You still want, rounded shoulders, a nice V taper of the back, but you don't want like thick, shredded back muscles.
Okay.
Same thing, fullness of the glutes. They're just larger in size.
Yeah.
And then you
do, and being, going as urban, you do notice the difference.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a significant difference.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of like your bikini girls your best bikini girls sometimes are between like 5'4" and 5'7", where some of your best wellness girls are like 5'2", 5'1". They're tiny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I would say so. Yeah.
I know a couple of wellness girls that are like 5'5", 5'6", but like I think, golly,
because they want
Francielli is like, I've stood next to that woman before, and I just dwarf her, but I dwarf everybody. So I'm 5'9". So yeah, so most of your wellness girls, like your top tier wellness girls, are like below 5'5".
Okay.
Yeah, and so then of course it moves up into figure. Figure is a little bit more conditioning. You're looking for separation of the muscles in your quarter turns, and so instead of having your like very flashy feminine side poses and back poses, you have more structured quarter turns.
Okay.
The difference between figure and women's physique is you're wearing high heels in figure and you're not doing free posing. You have quarter turns in women's physique. Women's physique is much more muscular and a little bit more muscle volume.
Okay.
But you're still looking for symmetry, balances, top to bottom, symmetry left to right, fullness of the muscle bellies, and conditioning. Whereas, like, they say they don't want striations, but, I mean, Sarah Villegas is your current reigning Miss Women's Physique, and she looks like a fucking anatomy chart.
She's got some striations.
So there's some striations there. So I'm like, y'all need to figure out.
Yeah, just be honest.
Just be honest with it, okay? We can handle the truth. Just be honest with it.
Give it to us.
And then, of course, you have women's bodybuilding, which is the top tier. They want it all. Basically, men's bodybuilding for a female.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, cool. So you get the whole variety, and then there's fitness, right?
Yeah, and then of course you have the best one of all, which is fitness.
Of course.
Fitness is judged just like figure. We have there's a certain level of conditioning that we are judged upon. We are judged on what we look like, just like every other category. Just like figure, we want rounded shoulders, we want full muscle bellies, we want a tight waist, a V taper. A nice quad sweep of the legs, hamstring glute.
But the posing routine is like totally different.
Right. So pre-judging, we're judged just like figure. At the night show, and mind you, our physique round is only 1/3 of our score.
Yeah.
The routine round is 2/3 of our score, so it holds higher weight.
Okay.
So you'll notice, you'll sit there and say, oh, well, the figure girls aren't as lean or whatever as the figure girls. I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like tearing an Achilles.
Yeah.
But I still focus on the physique just like any other category. I just push my body to the limits with the routines.
Gotta do flips and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always very entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah. From every show I've been to and I've seen the fitness category, I'm like, man, they do some cool stuff. I've seen some of your stuff. I'm like, that's badass.
So the fitness routine is a 2-minute max, basically cardio hit routine with some choreography. And so you do anything.
And being depleted.
And so you should not be depleted by the time you get up there. But I know that there are some girls that still are.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you have the 2-minute routine. You've got gymnastics, tumbling, cheer, dance backgrounds. You have all these people that have all these different backgrounds that do fitness, except for moi.
Got a volleyball background.
I got a ball. Somebody was like, "What's your background?" I'm like, "I can jump real high and land on my face really pretty." That's what I'm really good at.
But you make it work.
But I make it look
Hell
really
yeah.
awesome. So it's like, yeah, I can, I don't have. So I started taking gymnastics lessons when I was like 32.
Oh.
And so one of my good friends, Lisa, is a coach at Boost Gymnastics, and I started taking lessons with her. I just started taking lessons with her to kind of get some of that background back, do like standing back handsprings, make it simple. I play to my strengths. My strengths are not gymnastics, but what my strength is my vertical.
Okay.
I mean, like if I do a straddle jump, I can get a 5-foot vertical just standing. So like if I do like a dive roll and then jump into something, I'm getting 8 feet in the air.
That's nuts.
So
I can't jump for the shit.
So it's like a lot of what I do is I play to like the power move. So like showing your strength and your power is by being explosive. So that's what I play a lot too with my routines.
That's cool though. You're able to what that focus is though. You know where your strength is, so you rely on that.
And I've always got to be different. I've always been that person. Like I want to be different. I don't want to be like everybody else.
Feel ya.
So like I try to do some tumbling, if it works for me. But I would rather sit there and like take lessons from like trickers and learn how to do like an A-spin or like a gainer or a Webster and learn how to do breakdance moves.
Hell yeah.
And put that into a routine and make it look fucking awesome.
Hell
That's
yeah.
what I would rather do.
That's cool. And you're doing that and I appreciate that about you, like I'm big on that too. Like gotta be different. You don't want to be like anybody else. I'm all about that shit. And so you started off with a bikini, right? And then
Yeah. I started off in bikini, and then like my legs. So we joke around, and this is not. I'm being 100% dead serious. Even all the way to my cousins, every male in my dad's side of the family was a linebacker.
Oh, really?
I inherited those genes. Like, if you see my back and my shoulders and my legs, they were all linebackers. I get it from my dad.
Hey.
My genetics, like my cruel ass argumentativeness, my argumentativeness comes from my mom. My stubbornness comes from my dad. My work ethic comes from my mom. My genetics come from my dad.
Well, at least you got it broken down.
Yeah. So, like, I know where it all comes from. So, like, I tell my mom all the time, I'm like, if you don't like my sense of humor, blame him. Like,
Yeah.
sorry.
His fault.
She was like, she's like, whatever. But, yeah, so my genetics 100% comes from my dad. I knew right away, like, not very long after that, I really liked lifting heavy weight, and my legs were, like, blowing up. And so they were like, the people that I was working with at the time were like, you really need to move up because you're not going to do well in bikini. You're getting too big for bikini. Yeah. And so I was like, all right, fine. But like I liked the freeness and flowiness of it. So I did figure. Moved into figure, did figure for like a year or two. And then I met Becca Sizemore at a show.
Shout out to Becca. Becca's awesome. Yeah.
Becca is awesome. So Becca, I had met her. I had started working in the NPC, working as like expediter, working backstage, trophying, stuff like that. So like I had become very involved with the NPC at that point, and had met Becca. Becca had like seen my social media and was like, "Hey, you should really try fitness." But fitness wasn't really in Mississippi. There were no shows didn't offer fitness in Mississippi, but they did in Tennessee. So she literally, and like I've told this story so many times and she knows right away what I'm talking about, but like she was on her phone and she was like, you should do fitness. I go, well, it's kind of hard to, afford, and, there's no shows here. She goes, really? She goes, but if there was a show that offered it, would you do it? And I was like, well, yeah. She goes, hold on 1 second, gets on her phone and you're doing the Dexter Jackson in 3 weeks. I was like, what?
And this is just like not practicing any figures.
Nah, like I had never done fit. She goes, yeah, you got 3 weeks to come up with like a fun little routine. As long as it has these 4 moves in it and you can do it, and we'll see you in Memphis.
Simple task.
Yeah, no biggie.
No pressure.
And she was like, I've already got your entry taken care of. My girlfriend Tiffany is going to be there. She's guest performing. She'll do your tan. She's a pro tan athlete, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. Like,
can't say no to that.
It's like, alrighty then. So I put together a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles routine from this is when like the remakes had come out. So it was like Shell Shocked by Wiz Khalifa.
Okay.
And I did a like a 1.5 minute routine to the Ninja Turtles, and that was my fitness career. That was the start of it.
And how'd you do?
And I was the only like fitness girl, so I won. But it was after doing it the one time, I was like, that's all I wanted to do.
Was it a good performance?
No, it was terrible.
Really?
Yeah, it was god awful. I go back and look at that video, I'm like, oh, I shudder.
You're like, dude, how do we delete this shit? You know what though? Like, I really freaking appreciate that because, that's a difference between you and a lot of individuals. They'd be like, no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Or, 3 weeks is not that much time.
No, not at all.
Because people practice their routines and shit for
months.
And you were like, I guess I'm going to freaking do it.
Yeah.
And you did. That's badass. Hell yeah. So, hey, kudos to you for doing so.
I did.
Accepting the challenge. And it got you hooked.
Yeah.
You never know, had you avoided that, what would have been the outcome. You just stayed comfortable.
If I'd avoided that, I would have never made it to the Olympia stage. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, that's good. So that was a massive shift in your bodybuilding career.
Yeah, my bodybuilding career.
Nice. And then so moving forward, you're just like went all out with that?
Yeah. I went all in with fitness and competed later that year at the Flex Lewis Classic. And then I started doing like national shows to see like kind of where I stood with it. And I total in my entire bodybuilding career, I probably did like 7 or 9 national shows. I came in second place to like 7 of those 9 shows. I think I did 7 or 9, and I know only one of them I came in third, and that was the Arnold Classic, the Arnold Amateur. I came in third, and I had joked around that day, and I looked at my my ex at the time, and he was like, I looked at him and I was like, I swear to God, if I get second place again.
So you got third.
So I got third. So it's like, God was like, alrighty then.
I guess I won't give you
I won't give you it.
It's funny. And, my first show, well, the only show I ever did was the Dexter Jackson Classic. So you said that you did that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it in Memphis?
No, it was in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it. It was like, shit, that was 2013-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got back from deployment, and I was like, that's when when I was deployed, I really got serious about just nutrition and fitness. And actually, rather than just being a military dude and going to the gym and like working out and drinking a bunch of beers like we always did, I really started to pay attention to nutrition and just like getting knowledge of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just wanted to push myself to do something I haven't done before and like be proud of that, you know, because I got a pretty rough background. But yeah, that was my first and only show. I just didn't go with expectations. I was like, I just want to do it for me.
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool. And I personally, I don't know your outlook on it. When a lot of people get into bodybuilding, it's like, don't go in with expectations like you're just going to beat everybody. Just go in and do it for you first. Does that make sense? I don't know. I don't know your outlook on it.
So here's the deal. I see both sides of it.
Yeah.
So like, if you're like me and are extremely competitive,
yeah,
it's different. Fitness is just different.
I guess with me,
before I got into fitness. So like when I first started doing this, like I did it, like I just like for my very first show, it was like, I want to get on stage because I had been through a lot. And I'm like, I want to get on stage and show everybody that I can do this. And I was super proud of it.
See, that's how it was for me that first time.
Well, that was that first time. And so after that, it was like, I want to be better. And so I was very driven. So it's like, I want to go do this show. I want to win first. I want to win it over. Like I kept giving myself the next goal. What was the next goal?
Yeah.
And so like fitness, I've learned like I'm going with the mindset is that I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to like cannonball in. Like, here we go.
Yeah.
And I don't care who shows up. I'm going to be the best.
Yeah.
If it's my best, great. If it's not my best, it's on me.
Yeah.
Like if I don't perform the way that I need to, that's my fault. And but what I have learned is that when you go in fitness in particular, when you go in, now it's not like this with every category. Like if you go in to win, let that be your mindset. Don't be a douche about it.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's kind of where I'm getting at too, is like, don't be a douche.
Don't be a dick. Right?
Yeah.
So, but with fitness, I learned that once I show up, like if I'm there and I just have fun, it works out.
Yeah.
Because every time I go with the idea of I need to go because I need to win, I always fall up short, or something happens, or something falls, or I miss something in my routine, or I don't perform quite as well as I should. But when I go out there and I have fun and I perform because I'm enjoying it, I have so much more energy. I have so much less anxiety. Like I'm not nervous, and I perform so much better when I'm just like, because I tell, like, before I get on stage to do my fitness routine, every time I get at the stairs before they call me up there, I close my eyes, I look at the stage, and I just take a deep breath, like, because I'll be nervous as hell. Like you won't think it, but I am like, it doesn't matter what I've done. This so many shows, and I'm still, every time before I step on stage, I'm nervous as hell. But it stops and it goes away. I will look at the stage, I will close my eyes, and I'll be like, take a deep breath, and I'll just be like, you deserve to be here. Now fucking rock it.
Hell yeah.
And every time I do that, the second I step on stage, nerves disappear.
That's how it goes, right?
And then the second I hear that music, it's like a bump of adrenaline.
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing about fitness is that, like, if you're not feeling your music, you feed off of the music. The audience feeds off you. You feed off the audience. It's circular.
Yeah.
It's cyclical. So, like, you want to constantly be feeding off of something. You have 2 minutes to show out. So.
And I saw your routine. You're doing like the.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, come on, let's go.
Fire me up.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I love it. That's the energy you want. And, I was told, because I got this public speaking event coming up in November. It's probably like 500-600 people. And I'm like, I'm nervous about that.
Yeah.
I got to get up there for 30 minutes and tell my story, so on and so forth. But if you're not nervous about the thing, then you don't respect the thing.
Yeah.
And then
you just got to start.
You just got to start.
You just got to start.
Got to make it happen. I love that, though. And you seem to really be in love with the process and everything. A lot of people, and I'm sure you hear it all the time, being in this industry, and I see that you're really passionate about it. Like you truly love it, right?
Yeah.
But you get people that always be like, man, it's unhealthy. You know, it wrecks your body. It wrecks your, yeah, I don't know. You hear probably all the stigmas that go along with it. What would you say to that?
Shut the fuck up. Because here's my deal. Oh, it's unhealthy. It's this, that. And they'd be like, really? Okay. I don't really often hear about somebody dying at a bodybuilding show, but you know how many people I've heard about dying during an Ironman or a marathon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. People die doing all kinds of shit.
Yeah. Are there risks? Yes, there are. Is there a single sport where there are not risks? No, there are not.
Yeah.
The key is, and this is where a lot of my like Instagram rants come in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I've learned a lot over 13, 12 years of being in this sport, 10 years or whatever, however long I've been doing this shit. They're stupid in every sport. You just got to learn to identify it.
Yeah.
And you got, like, there are risks and benefits to everything. Never, ever enter a sport and just accept what someone says. Like, ask questions. And that's where a lot of people get into trouble. A lot of the rants that I've been doing on my social media, which people have told me that, like, they get super excited to see about now. It's just me calling out poor behavior. And somebody was like, I think you're talking about this person. I'm like, are they guilty of what I said? And they were like, well, I mean, yeah. I go, then yeah, I'm talking about them.
Yeah.
Like, if you're offended by what I said, chances are this is directed at you. Do I have people in mind when I say stuff like this? Yeah, but not just one person in particular.
Yeah.
I'm talking about behaviors. If
Yeah.
you are guilty of said behavior, then yeah, that's directed at you.
Oh, and that's the thing. You're just calling people out. And like you said, there's dicks in all of the sports, right?
Yeah.
All the things. But and I agree with you. There are risks, but there's anything worthwhile has risks.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. I mean, everything I go for I have to have some kind of risk to go along with whatever I'm doing in order for me to feel like it's worth it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. But the true critics will often be people that are very comfortable in their lives and they aren't taking risks doing anything. I heard it in my, past relationship. Why would you support a sport, that's people are killing themselves and like trashing their bodies, talking about, setting up at bodybuilding events and stuff. I'm like, you know what? They're pushing themselves. They're disciplining themselves. They're working their ass off to do something more than just mosey around. Like, I have so much fucking respect for that. Does that make sense?
So here's my question. What's the difference between that and someone pushing themselves for a competition or a bodybuilding for becoming better, let's say, in air quotes, versus somebody who is content and complacent in their life, going nowhere, eating McDonald's, poisoning their body with shitty-ass food, living the same life over and over and over, day in and day out, being miserable in a life that they continue to leave. To me, that sounds like self-suicide myself.
I just want to go throw up.
Yeah.
You said that, I just want to puke.
Like, that sounds like suicide. So what's the difference?
Terrible. That's just, I'd much rather be dead.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine that life.
Yeah.
But it's, unfortunately, a lot of those people are the biggest critics of things that are so beyond them.
Those are the same guys that like get on my Instagram and tell me I sound like a man and that I'm transitioning.
Yeah, well, just whoop their ass and be like, "Wow, I'll kick your ass." Dude.
I'm like, well, then clearly I have a bigger dick than you do. So go fuck yourself.
Yeah, they're just very insecure when they make those statements. Yeah, no, and I'm curious your mindset on that because you are dedicated to the sport. There's a lot of criticism towards it. I mean, there's criticism towards anything really, but I wanted to hear your perspective on that. And hey, well said. Fuck off.
Like that's my opinion. Like, I'm not a natural athlete, never was. But I started out.
I mean, you got your dad's genetics.
I do have my dad's genetics. I do. However, I was very young and naive when I first started this sport. And so, like, when my coach at the time was like, here, you should try this.
Yeah.
I never asked questions. I was like, okay, and didn't really know anything about it. So, like, when someone, let me say this correctly. When someone comes up to me and asks my advice, I do not solicit advice freely. Because it's not my place. But if someone comes up to me and asks my advice, I'm giving you advice from somebody who has made all of the wrong mistakes. So trust me, don't make the same mistakes I have. So, like, am I a natural athlete? No. But now, knowing what I know, everything that I do is followed by a physician.
Okay.
So, like, any peptides, any like testosterone replacement therapy, anything like that I take, I have a doctor that oversees my lab work. I get blood work done regularly.
Yeah.
And I do that now because of the fact that I made all those mistakes when I was younger. Yeah. And I wish, golly, there's no telling where I would be in my career if I know now what I didn't know then.
Yeah.
Like if I knew then what I know now, it would just be night and day difference. But I want people to feel free. Like, and here's the thing. If I don't know the answer, I know people that do.
Yeah.
I've been in the sport long enough to where I can reach out to some really, really smart people who can give me a better response. Because it should never be a coach telling a client, like, well, this is just what we do. The fuck we do. No.
Yeah.
That's not what we do.
Yeah.
Like, there's got to be a scientific reason behind it. Otherwise, you're just making up shit or you're trying to make a buck off of somebody.
Yeah, and you're going to screw some other people up for good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, you can watch all my rants on Instagram. They're quite hilarious.
Yeah. I'm banned from Instagram right now. All my pages have been canceled since January.
I was banned from TikTok for like 2 years, so don't feel bad.
Really? Yeah, no, they deleted everything of mine. Like my personal, my brand, my podcast, like permanently deleted for this being apparently a violent organization.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they wouldn't even
you
let
have
me.
an opinion?
Yeah. Oh, they wouldn't even let me
God.
appeal it. Yeah, they were like, this is not up for review. Decision's final. Everything's permanently deleted. I've tried to make like 10 pages since then, even on a new laptop. Immediately, I'm like, dude, someone's got it out for me at Instagram. They're just sitting there like, fuck this Joe Adams. Relentless Pursuit. Take him down. We can't let him get anywhere. I'm like, all right, fine. And it is what it is. Like you just find the opportunity around it.
To me, that
it never stops anything.
No, to me that just says that you give it a while. Like it literally took me 2 years to get my TikTok back.
See, I'm on TikTok.
See, that's the crazy part. I got kicked off and I got banned for 2 years. For 2 years, I was off TikTok because I made a scholastic argument about a injection, and I quoted stats that surprisingly to this day has been proven true.
Go figure, right?
It's amazing how that happened.
I think you did have like a clip or something like back in that time.
Yeah.
That was like pretty viral, right?
Yeah, like I think I ended up...
My sister showed it to me.
It got so many freaking views. On TikTok, I think it got over like 7 or 8 million views.
Boom.
And like it made I got like 50 or 60,000 new followers from it. But then like just as much love, I got just as much hate. And what was so funny, everybody's like, TikTok is pushing this viral video. You should go. And like people doing like, what was so funny, I'm like, these people, I'm like, oh my God, you're the one that ate the Tide Pod. I just know it. So these people are like, I don't remixing or whatever my video and then like back like screen sharing it. And we're like, this woman does this stuff, blah, 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 blah. Go report her. She's spreading false information and TikTok is pushing this video. I'm like, no, you dumbass. You commenting and then sharing this video and then remixing this video is pushing the video.
Yeah, no.
Like that's how the algorithm works.
Yeah. You're giving it attention,
like,
so thank you.
I'm like, good or bad, indifferent, it doesn't matter. You're the one that's pushing this. So if you don't like something, just keep freaking scrolling.
Yeah.
Like if you don't like it, keep moving. Because guess what? That like if you don't watch the video the whole way, if you don't comment on it, if you don't share it and tell everybody how much you hate it, it like goes on the back burner. Like people just need to realize, like if you don't like something, just keep scrolling.
It's that simple. There's a lot of things on social media I don't agree with, but I just don't pay attention to it. I just go past it. I don't. And at the end of the day, like, but as soon as a lot of these people, as soon as you don't agree with them or they don't agree with whatever you're saying, they don't give a fuck. They'll do whatever they can just to like ruin you.
Yeah. And I'm just like, it's like, wait, I'm not allowed to have a different opinion?
God forbid.
Oh my God.
God forbid you do that. You know, you got to agree with me and me only, right?
And then people tell me like all these things that I am and all just go off. And I'm like, are there cameras in my house? Do you know me?
Yeah, I'm on a show.
Yeah. Like, is this the Truman Show right now?
Yeah, no, I mean, people on social, we can get into that whole rant too. I mean, hell, like my wife was telling on her podcast, talking about her domestic violence stuff, I mean, that she went through. And I mean, she was, held at gunpoint. Like it was a pretty
Yeah.
shitty story, and I posted one on Facebook and had like 1 million views. People are like, she probably deserved it, you know, and all this stuff. And I was like, I was like, about to
And
put
you
the
want to
address-
go after it
I was gonna put
too.
the address for this building. Like, hey, let's talk about that. Come over here, you know. But it's like, you know, I'm just gonna feed that more.
Yeah.
And these people are just gonna keep saying hateful shit. But like, at the end of the day, the people that give the negative feedback, if you're really that hell bent on like,
Dude, I will go on their profiles and I'll take a picture of it and I'll just be like, oh my God. Be like, you're right. I am more of a man than you. Like, and it's always like, I'll go on these people's profiles that have something negative to say.
Yeah.
And it's like 22 followers
yeah,
and like 0 posts. And I'm like, dude, like, you're a fucking leech.
nothing. Yeah, they're just butthurt.
Like, you have nothing else going for you in life. If you have to constantly like be so negative about something that you disagree with, like, I am all for like constructive conversation, like having a conversation with somebody and like arguing ideas back and forth. I'm all for. But when you start to attack that person because of them thinking the way that they do, that is when you cross over that line of like totalitarianism. Like,
Yes.
because that's very Nazi-ist. Because you don't think like I do, you are less than a person and you should be shunned.
Oh yeah,
That's very like
it's just, I talk about my.
so Gestapo. It's not even funny.
Oh yeah, I talk about my beliefs, and people are just like, "Oh, you're gonna burn in hell," and I'm like, well, "Thanks, I guess." Like,
It's
that
like-
really hurts my feelings.
Be like, you know that
Yeah.
for sure.
Are you sure?
You
Are you
sure?
gonna be there with like the paper that says Joe
Yeah.
Adams in hell?
Be like, so are you cousins to Peter, who's gonna be standing at the gate?
Yeah.
Or like, are you like besties?
Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah.
I guess I'll prepare. You
Yeah.
know, but it's like people just it makes no sense to me. I think I've learned just to get past it because it's just like, man, one, I don't have the time to comment negative things on other people's page. So I've gotten to where I just feel sorry for those individuals.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like life sucks, doesn't it?
Your life sucks.
Yeah, it's no fun.
Yeah. Life doesn't suck.
Yeah.
Your
Well,
life
yeah, no,
sucks.
their life sucks. My life's great. I love my life, and I'm gonna keep speaking my truth and putting it out there because you know that's all I have. But yeah, I mean, you know, and I can see where you probably just deal with that shit over and over again. But hey, it doesn't faze you. It is what it is. It's just kind of part of the freaking system, anyways. You know, so people just want to tear you down, but they can't do it, Anna.
No.
You're gonna get up there and do
They've
your flips and
tried.
shit. And
They've tried.
Yeah, you're just gonna keep on winning. But hey, I am curious though too. You know, with the bodybuilding, since it's so prevalent, and what would you say are like some of the biggest lessons and the things you appreciate and love about it the most? Like, where's that passion at? You know, where does that stem from?
I still love the process of going to the gym and like being a part of everything and like working out, like knowing that if I work on something, I'm going to see change.
Yeah.
Like that's the gratification I get for it. Yeah. It's not immediate gratification. And the other probably best thing I love about it is that like in my division, I have such a larger support system now within the fitness community. And not just fitness in general. I mean, like the actual like division fitness, these girls. It's the one division I can truly say that like we all have a group on Facebook that we all talk to each other. We all have a group on Instagram. We all tag each other in all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like a very, very close-knit community because there are so few of us and there are so few shit. Like,
Yeah, it's super niche.
Yeah. But there's so few of us. And so like there are so many fucking bikini shows,
There's
like
a lot.
pro shows. There's so many shows that give like bikini or men's physique. Like those are the two largest numbers.
Yeah.
And then like kind of like women's bodybuilding, there's not a lot of shows that give like 212 or women's bodybuilding. They're just as little or fewer shows that give fitness, that offer fitness.
Yeah.
So like just within the US, that are not invitational. So like the Arnold is an invitational. The Olympia is a qualifier. So take those two out. There's only like 7 shows, maybe, in the US within a calendar year
They have fitness.
that have fitness.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I guess there's so many. I guess nobody wants to get out there and do the thing, do the flips, do the acrobatics.
We're trying our best to try and get more people involved because everybody thinks that like you have to have this particular type of background to do something, and you don't.
Yeah, you're proof of that.
Yeah, like there's another
You just got the hops
I just got ups.
and you use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, even people that, like, and I know people that are like, "Yeah, I used to cheer in high school, and, like, I don't do all that now, but, like, I could do that." I'm like, "Great, do it. As long as you can do the 4 mandatories, that's all that matters." Like, you don't have to be ready to step on a pro stage. We want
Yeah.
people to get into the vision and to grow the sport just like at the amateur level. That's what we
yeah.
want to do.
I might have to come to your spot and practice my flips and stuff. I used to have them round off back handsprings down, the tucks. You know, just it's been a while. I don't know. I've been a lot more broken since then, but yeah, you know, who knows? Anyways, probably not. So in you know, I guess moving forward as we reach the end of this, I got a couple more questions for you after our 30-minute break we just took. Moving past the bodybuilding, you shared your perspective and what you loved about it, you know, what really fueled you. There was something you wanted to talk about real quick, and then I got 2 questions for you.
Sure.
Your issue with coaching.
So it's not my issue with coaching. It's shitty coaches.
Which is very common.
Yeah, very common. Which, like, if anybody goes on my Instagram and watches my rants, like, it's very clear what I'm talking about. And it's not any one person in particular. It's behaviors that I see. Like, coaches that put, like, first-time competitors on, like, stacks of gear.
Yeah.
Or tries to get people who are doing just like simple like health and wellness or weight loss that aren't even competitors on something like Anavar or Winstraw or like Clen, and like
So reckless.
oh my god, the amount of DMs I get from both male and females about questions that they have that their coach or somebody at the gym ran by them. I'm like, oh my god. Like, some people are just so reckless and just use this crap as just a crutch.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you're using this as a crutch, then you don't need to be coaching or training anybody. Like, if you don't know how to do this without gear, you need to go sell insurance.
Yeah. Find a different path, please.
Please, for the love of God.
Insurance, you get a little wiggle room to lie a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, you know.
So, but you're messing with people's health.
Yeah, and that's where I get a lot of issues because, like, there are some really good coaches out there. And I am not saying that bodybuilding is without risks.
Yeah.
But you as an athlete, need to educate yourself about those risks and never go into a sport. Like, and I'm not going to say it's entirely the coach's fault because a lot of it can be the client's. Like, a lot of times clients don't know what questions to ask. And I get that. But okay, I'll put it to you this way. No first-time client who just wants to try this out for fun should be on gear of any kind.
No.
Okay, SARMs, PEDs, nothing. Do it the natural way. See if you like it. See if you want to invest that time in it. Yeah. And then if you love it so much that you want to continue to go to that next level, or is this just a fun hobby, make your decision then make that leap. Mm-hmm. If you're just regular health and wellness, a general population health and wellness client, you should never, ever touch gear unless it is by a physician because you actually have hormone issues that you need to get overseen.
Yeah.
Any coach that does not have you do blood work, and I'm not talking about a coach that's like, oh, yeah, we did blood work at the beginning of the year. I go, really? That's awesome because your client has cankles and has tree trunks on the side of their neck because their blood pressure is so freaking high because of the stack that you have them on and their shitty diet. So is that either non-compliance or are you allowing them to do that? Like, that's the crap that I have problems with. Coaches that like just asinine, like what coach gives somebody out of convenience a diet that is entirely liquid?
It sounds absolutely terrible.
It is terrible. And like,
I mean, it's absolutely horrendous.
It's horrendous.
You're not fasting for like a religious holiday.
No, this isn't Ramadan. Yeah, like this isn't how this is not how this is supposed to go.
Yeah,
and like, so I get like, don't get me wrong. Like I get like my coach right now has me less than 1,000 calories because we're doing a 2-week dig. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a stopping point for this. So this isn't like 8 to 10 weeks out and you've taken away all my food because you're trying to get me to lose weight that I have because I have too much fat on my body because I got too heavy in the off season. That coach should be able to look at me as an athlete and going, hey, we're going to have to do this for a while. So you're not going to do this show in 12 weeks when you clearly need 20. That's a coach that's a conversation you need to have. But why are you as a coach not going to do that? Because this person's paying you month to month and you want them to make you look good.
Yeah.
Okay. If you are selling clients gear stacks because it's what you have in your like closet to sell them, and I'm talking stacks that have no business going together for someone who's 19, 20, 21, 22 years old, because you can make money off of that person as well, you can go rotten fucking hell.
So a lot of these things you're talking about are where like a lot of the stigmas come from.
Exactly.
And really,
that's what I can't stand.
It circles the shitty coaches.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, and that's just the thing, is that like, this isn't one person. There are multiple people. And here's the thing. Like, I've heard bad stories about good coaches too.
Yeah.
I take a grain of salt with every story that comes in. What I am basing my rants over are actual tangible evidence of people coming to me and telling me firsthand, this is what I've done, and me seeing it. Like, look here, let me show you the proof.
Yeah.
Or something that I've actually heard somebody say before. And here's the problem about me and most Scorpios. We can't lie for shit.
It's not a problem. It's great. I'm glad you,
Yeah, cannot lie. It was written all over my face, okay?
Yeah.
Broadcasted, tattooed.
Yeah.
Like, I will look at you like you have 3 fucking heads if you tell me something that I think sounds incredibly stupid. And the only thing I can do at that moment in time is literally walk away. Like, I will be mid-sentence. You will say something. I will think it's absolutely horrendous. I will look at you and just walk away.
Well, I'm glad I haven't gotten that look this whole time.
No, you're good. You're great. You're doing wonderful. But I've had to do that before just because, like, I'm just floored at some of the things that come out of people's mouths. And I'm just like, what in the actual fuck?
Yeah.
But again, I don't solicit unwanted advice. I will give you my advice if you ask for it. And the only time I have ever given any advice to any athlete is when they specifically came up to me and asked. And I will actually, I'll stop and be like, look, whoa, before this goes any further, are you asking me my opinion on this? Like, do you really want my opinion? They'll be like, yes. I'd be like, all right, free game.
Unload.
And I'm honest.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. If I don't know the answer to something, there's a lot of people that I know that can give me the answer.
For sure.
You know.
And then this all you got to do too. But a lot of these people a lot of coaches will take some information and they don't know it, but they'll act as if they know it. And they'll give somebody just like a blanket statement, you know, because a lot of people aren't going to do that much digging, unfortunately. So they just take it like, oh, this person's a coach. They know what they're talking about, and they just trust them. Unfortunately, like, you can't trust everybody.
And that's just it. Like, it's blanketed trust. So like, oh, well, and here's my thing. Just because you have been doing this for 10, 12 years, 15 years, guess what? Bodybuilding has changed a lot over that time.
Yeah.
Okay. Just because you've been doing this for that long, that's wonderful. You were probably in your prime 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you stayed on top of it.
Yeah.
As far as like the new.
Okay. In that 10 to 15 years, how many continuing education courses or seminars have you gone to about that? None? Okay. Yeah. Well, then that means that you have probably been doing it wrong for the last 8.
Yeah. Yep.
So
there's always a way to improve upon the craft.
Yes.
Things can always get better.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not just like learning with the next group of people. That means you learning stuff that you don't realize you don't know.
Yeah.
And if you don't think you need stuff like that, you are the problem.
Exactly. And, you know, there's another thing, too, is teaching people concepts or to do things that you haven't even done yourself.
Yeah.
Like, that's with me. I don't work with, you know, bodybuilders. It's just not like, it's very time consuming to work in that world, right? So I haven't even like flirted with that. I just like to work with lifestyle people and whatnot, and it's just different kind of goals. But I won't ever suggest any of my clients to do something I haven't tried on my own. Exactly. You know, and everybody's different. Everybody's going to react differently to different foods, diets. Everybody's mechanics are a lot different with their bodies. So everybody's going to vary, but I'm going to at least try something out for an extended period of time before I ever, try to be like, hey, do this, and I've even had guys like, oh, I want to do this gear. And I'm like, dude, that's not my expertise. Find somebody else for that. Right. But yeah, and same thing, like blood work, first thing, see where your hormones are at before you get all extreme with anything else. But I agree with everything that you're saying. I mean, I don't know. I guess that's why I love the fitness industry, but I've been around it a lot too. Mm-hmm. And that's why I just stray away from a lot of people as well. I'm just like, stay in my do my thing, because there's a lot of unauthentic people out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I love my coach now.
That's
so
good.
I work with Nick Tredilli.
Okay.
It's bodybuilding and BS. It's his handle for everything. And he used to have a YouTube, but he actually got kicked off of that too. So y'all have something in common.
Let's please not get kicked off of YouTube.
But no, he is very authentic, and he's very he's very, very, very smart. And not only that, he has a mentor.
Yeah.
He has someone that he learns under. He has a business. He learns from the business side, and then he learns from the bodybuilding side.
Okay.
From the coaching side. If I have a question, he can break it down for me, and he doesn't get mad or feel threatened by me asking.
Yeah.
And that's what I love. I can learn whatever I want to from him.
That's awesome.
And he genuinely cares. And it's a little different from me now. For the last 6 years, I was, coached by my ex. So it's a whole different dynamic and relationship now.
Yeah.
And so, but I love his authenticity. I love how he is so educationally driven, and he's very science-based.
Yeah.
And so yes, we do, there are extracurriculars that I am as an Olympian athlete, a top tier athlete, I am willing to do, but that's my decision.
Yeah.
To go that route. I know what the pros and cons. I've done the research.
You understand the risk.
I understand the risk, but I also understand there are risks, but there are risks of doing it a certain way, and there is a optimal way of doing it.
Of course.
That is less risky.
Of course. Yeah.
And that's the way I would like to continue to go to.
Exactly.
So, but that's one of the reasons why I love working with him.
Oh yeah, I love that. Yeah, it just reminded me. I was training an old client at their house, and his wife was training. She was getting ready for a show. She's like, Joe, how do I do power cleans? I'm like, power cleans? She's like, yeah, my coach has me doing power cleans. I was like, why the fuck are you got a football game coming up? You getting ready for the Super Bowl? Power cleans. I was like, how about this? Don't do power cleans, because there's no business. There's no reason to do it.
No.
And ask your coach to break down why the hell you're doing power cleans. And I was just appalled. I was like, first of all, what? I would never, especially an online client. That's something I would want to be if they wanted to do power cleans.
Was she practicing for a Murph? Or?
No, she was getting ready for do bikini. Yeah, is that not mind blowing? I'll never forget that. I was just like, this has got to be fake.
Oh, don't worry.
But it was real.
Yeah, I believe it. Look, the second I heard somebody was like, I'm just somebody who was in, I guess she was wellness, and the fact that I heard this statement just blew my mind. And I think she was either in figure or wellness, and she was just like, I'm just so excited not to have to do trend this year. And I was like,
God.
My mouth, and I get certain doses and baby doses can make someone either look hard or doing something, and I get there's probably some women that do, but then I'm like, and mind you, here's the deal too. I know a lot of people in this sport that are very good at what they do, and Brooke Walker, I love Brooke Walker.
Yeah.
That's kind of she's number 3, number 4 in the world. That is if Brooke don't have to do trend shit, nobody have to do trend.
Ain't that true? More is not better.
Golly.
But that's a mindset.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Oh my God.
But people think that.
More is not better.
I do TRT, but I get it from a doctor, and I think, in this day and age with food and all the things coming in our bodies, I think TRT is optimal for most men in general. Usually, I want to be optimal, not average, right? Yeah. And so, I do TRT. But I'm one of those people, like, I'll try everything once. And my buddy gave me a bottle of Tren like a year and a half ago or so. And I was like, I'll run some Tren, see what happens. Hell no. I'm never touching that shit again. I was an emotional wreck. I had enough stress on my plate. And I was just like, I remember Jesse came in one time and I was talking to him, just stressed out, and just started crying. I was like, dude, I just don't know what's wrong. He's like, it's the Tren, bro. And I was like, it is. I was like,
fucking love Jesse.
yeah, I was like, but he was right. Like, that shit is not my cup of tea. Yeah, I got a little stronger and like blew up, but hell no, I'm never touching it again. Not
People,
my thing.
and what's really funny is that, like, so the guy I'm dating now, we talk about this, and it's like, you have to be able to get to a certain point. So many people, this is another thing that drives me crazy. So many people think that these drugs are used to help get you lean. No. No. These drugs are used to create a look once you are at the place that you need to be, which is how, like, doing your cardio and having your diet in optimal position and maybe having 1 or 2 compounds that are helping keep the muscle bellies full and your metabolism doing what the fuck it's supposed to and burning your fat. Because you got too fucking fat in the off season thinking you were making gains when you've actually got peripheral edema.
Yeah.
Like, that's that shit. Yeah. So this stuff is used to create a look.
Yeah.
That should be done maybe 4 to 6 weeks out, maybe, for very short periods of time. They're short esters for a reason.
Yep.
They do have chemical reactions on the brain. They affect your brain. They affect
big time. And
here's the deal. They don't just affect your brain, they affect your personality.
Oh yeah.
Okay. A lot of these chemicals affect the frontal lobe of the brain.
Yeah.
The frontal lobe is where decision making occurs. Yeah. And people don't realize that.
And then you get the guys that are like, it doesn't affect me at all. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure if you got off of it, your personality would be a little bit different. Yeah. You're just used to it, and you're just like, this is who I am now. Yeah. But yeah, and because people do extreme amounts, I've like met several of them, but there's consequence to it. Like you said, do it in an educated way for a short amount of time. Know what the hell you're doing.
Be self-aware.
Understand the risk. Yeah, and that's, I was like,
be self-aware. Like, it is not the world's problem that you are on Tren. It is your problem to understand that you are going to perceive things differently and become more agitated. Be at least self-aware enough to know that it is not my job to have to deal with your mood swings.
Yeah.
It is your job to try and control them.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll meet like in the middle. But it is not the rest of the world's problem to deal with your fucking bullshit on gear.
Yeah, if you can't handle it, then get the fuck off of it.
If you can't handle it, get the fuck off.
Yeah, find a different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, figure it out.
But again, there's some people out there that are like 12, 14 weeks out. Man, we're going to put in Tren. I'll be like, why?
God almighty.
I'm like, oh.
And run it for 12 that long?
Yes. They'll run this shit. They'll run like Deca, Tren, Mast, and Test, and then put in some like fucking aromatase inhibitor, as well as maybe like Clomid or something, or whatever they want just to stack on it. Like all 5 of these things, like, we're gonna do this for about 12 weeks, and I'm like,
I'm good. Yeah, just fuck all that.
I'm just like, okay, so we need to test you for cirrhosis in about 6 weeks.
Yeah, how's your blood pressure?
Yeah.
I already got a graft on my aorta. I don't need any more. I don't need like all those issues, man. I got to be aware. Jesus. But anyways, well, we could
dive in this for a while.
Yeah, we're going to do so. We've already pretty much covered today, even off camera, like the topics of conversation coming on the next episode we do, Anna. And you're close by. We can make it happen. You're over here a lot. But I do need to close out. We're at the end of the segment. We've been running for a while, actually, but it's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed hearing your story and hearing, just so much about you, and it's been a really cool experience. So thank you.
Thank you.
I do have to ask, one, you said, a few times throughout this episode, knowing who you are. Do you know who you are, Anna?
Fuck yeah.
Love it. All right. Beautiful answer. You could have gone either way. You'd be like, I'm still figuring some stuff out. And we're always figuring stuff out. We're always growing, but, confidently say, you know who you are.
The true basis of who I am, I know who I am.
Oh, yeah. Love that. And question I always ask everyone, both in your profession and personally within your life, What is your relentless pursuit?
My relentless pursuit is probably striving to always be a little bit better.
Always.
Always.
That is what relentless pursuit is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that embodies it fully.
Because, for example, I took my new job that I have now because I could not grow anymore in my career.
Yeah.
So I needed something to challenge me. So I took a more challenging position.
I love it.
Luckily, that more challenging position came with a very hefty pay raise.
Yeah, okay.
So
It's a good addition.
A+.
Hell yeah.
And so in bodybuilding, I took last year off of competing completely. In 2022, I went to the Olympia for the first time, won my first show, placed 11th in the world in fitness. Now I got to do it again, and I got to do better.
Got to raise the bar.
I got to raise the bar.
Fuck yeah. Well, hey, I'm rooting for you.
Thank you.
I'm stoked to see what you make happen because it seems like you got a lot left to do in your, in your sport, in your career, and there's just a lot ahead for you. You know, you're in a crazy season, and I'm excited to see what you make happen. But I'm in your corner. If you ever need anything, let me know. And thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. I'm so happy to be here.
All right, Anna, you take care, and thank you. Hell yeah. That was good.